Hi guys, I had an interesting conversation with a guy yesterday who was asking me about my point of view on people who say we need to fight against this tyranny, we need to stand up against the injustices that are going on, we need to do more, to be more active, etc., against what's going on in the world right now. And we had a great talk about this perspective of how consciousness is tied in with this whole thing as well. Because one of the points which came up in our conversation was you can't fight a war by starting another war. You can't fight violence with violence, and it's just inevitably going to lead to that same pattern playing out. But what is the answer? And what do you do in day-to-day life? Because so often, if we're not careful, we can get angry and we can go to judgment. It's so easy to go to people and go, oh, why is it that people are just so asleep? They're just rolling over and letting the government do whatever they want to everyone, impose all these rules. I thought we were a democracy. I thought we were supposed to have a vote before a rule could come in which influences everyone's health, everyone's freedoms, etc. They've got around that. We need to do something about that. And I understand it. And it's frustrating and it seems like an injustice. But how we fight against that, so to speak, what we can do about that is up to us. And there are different things that people can do, but be very aware, I feel, of our reaction, because I certainly have caught myself and readjusted away from saying, look at all these people, mindlessly wearing their masks, following their rules, doing all these things like robots, like sheep. They're all asleep. They're all puppets. I have stopped going into that place now, and I realize I sort of actually go to this place where I use that saying. I think it's from the school I grew up in, but forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. I go to compassion, empathy, understanding, realizing that they are asleep. They're stuck in the matrix. They're blindly following what they're getting told. They're watching the news every night and getting pushed into a state of fear and anxiety, and they're completely reactive, and they're certainly just blindly following. Now, a lot of us don't follow that. A lot of people go, well, hang on, I really don't feel like we're being given the whole story. There is a bit of an agenda here. But, when you look at someone who is completely trapped in that, and there's a certain percentage of the population that no matter what, they're just going to do what they're told. And it's those ones that when I go to compassion, empathy, understanding, when you then, it's like you go from, as you go through the awakening journey, service to self, where you just think the more I do, hopefully the more I do, the more I achieve, the more, then hopefully the happier I'll be. When you move from that service to self to service to others, that's a big breakthrough. But one of the traps of service to others, right, is you feel like you've got to save everyone. There's all these people asleep. I've got to get out there and tell them to wake up, tell them that they're being sucked into some sort of, matrix that if they're not careful, it'll be out of control. And, that playing that out and going down that whole rabbit hole of needing to save everyone is a big trap of 4D. Like, your heart's in the right place. We are all interconnected and, you do want to help everyone. But as soon as you open your heart, as soon as you get out of your head and into your heart, and you go to kindness, compassion, empathy, understanding for people who are just playing out that role, what you start to find is you get glimpses of 5D consciousness where you understand the wisdom and the beauty of what's playing out there. You almost have this feeling of peace come over you where you realize that things are playing out the way they're supposed to. And with that 5D consciousness, with those little glimpses, those slithers that we get, if you've ever had these, comes peace that comes with that wisdom, seeing the big picture and realizing everyone's got free will and we can't infringe on that. Everyone is playing out the role that they're supposed to based on their soul journey and where they are at this moment in time. All we can really do is to be the light, work on ourselves, and as we work on ourselves and we elevate our consciousness, if you do the work on yourself and you be the the good, the clean, the powerful, the positive, the high vibrational demonstration of the divine in day-to-day life, at a subtle level, we're like that saying, the rising tide lifts all of the boats. This is how we can have an effect on consciousness. By working on ourselves, we help to elevate others, and the consciousness on the earth is changing at this moment. And this is how we can help to perhaps deal with some of what's going on the planet right now.